These answers should not have any commonality with your competitors. So Gandhiji's entire idea goes about the last person. Now and then, this particular quote was given during the philosopher's time when that person was living. But how relevant is that today? So similar quote, what I can remember readily is the helping hands are better than the paying lips. Hello everyone, how are you all? Welcome to Mentors for IAS. This is a very unique initiative in the field of UPSC preparation. Through this channel, we'll be addressing all the needs of the examination, that is civil service examination, be it prelims, mains, or even the interview part. As a part of that, we have taken up one special initiative that is called as Ethics at 8. Every day, we'll be covering few of the important topics in ethics. But right now, we have taken up the old question papers. In those questions, I'll be taking the responsibility of explaining you the quote-based questions. When it comes to quote-based questions, they will ask you specifically about what does this quotation mean to you? You is very important. So if you look at the course-based questions, they will ask like what exactly do you. So here the keyword is you. So you can't get any ready-made answer. So you can't mug up the answer. So as far as the ethics questions are concerned, these are our personal questions. And these answers should not have any commonality with your competitors. So this is a very personal thing. And this is more kind of a quarterfinal or a semi-final thing when it comes to the mains examination. Essay paper is one such paper where your personality transpires completely into words and you will try to impress the evaluator. In the interview, 5 people will judge you for 30 minutes, but these two papers, essay and ethics, without seeing you, without knowing whether you are a male, female, how old are you, without thinking about that, the evaluator will try to get your personality before him or her. So that is very important. And how do you impress with your knowledge? Very basic. Then your expression. And third thing, the experience as a human being. So that makes very important. So these quote-based questions, these are not like a bouncer questions for us. So for which you have to like just try to memorize something and write. No. These quotes in our career or in our curriculum, we have heard them one or the other times. Or the similar quotes we might have heard. So these quotes are not difficult to decipher at all. So we have to just make a proper sense of it. Rather than going to, that is the meaning of every word, you have to just understand the gist of that particular quote-based question. So in these things, so they will be giving the question which specifically asks, what does this quotation mean to you in the present context? So you as a person, and second thing, the present context, that is today. So that is 21st century, or to be specific, 2023 or 2024. So in these questions, we have to make a structure. We cannot just write like a story. Within 120 or 150 words, we have to wind up the answer because we don't have that much cushion time here. Because reading itself is a task here because you will be having 6 specific case studies. So you have to hurry up when it comes to the answer writing, and maybe you can reduce the number of words, make them more crisp, and give very powerful message in the paper. So in this question, first of all, we have to tell about the philosopher. So who has said it? So generally, the very well-known philosopher, if you name 10 Indian philosophers or 10 the global philosophers, you will get the quotations from them only. Maybe the spiritual gurus or the freedom fighters or very important philosophers in India, outside. Those things only you are going to get, and you don't have to study too much about them. So here the thing is, you have to know a basic about that philosopher. So which, like country he belongs to, or what is the region he belongs to, or why he is famous or why she is famous, and what are the main contributions of that particular fellow. Then you have to identify the keywords. So maximum 2 to 4 keywords will be there. So maybe you need to contrast with those keywords. So whenever you go to the quotes, generally there will be something to compare. There will be something to contrast. So that's very important. Maybe the synonyms, the antonyms of it. So just take them and try to analyze them. So that is the second part of the answer. And the third part of the answer, the meaning. So keywords is a different thing. Identifying the keywords is a different thing. But those keywords put together would give a different meaning altogether. So we should be able to decipher that meaning. So that meaning, the plain meaning. So whether you call it as a literal meaning or a contextual meaning, that's okay. But you have to draw a meaning of that. Then you need to have a multidisciplinary approach. For example, this particular quote or the keywords or the concept altogether has come in any discipline like sociology or like philosophy or like the political science or in literature or in anthropology. So you should be able to connect the dots. So when you connect your own optional, don't go to the other option, you go to your own option, then you try to connect some commonalities between your optional and this particular quote. So that would address another part of the answer. And very importantly, now and then, this particular quote was given during the philosopher's time when that person was living. But how relevant is that today? That's very important. So what was the context then and now? Maybe the context then you are going to tell it in a brief, but the context today is very important, because why this question has been asked, why this quote is important today, why the question paper setter has understood that this particular quote might bring some change in the present context. So that is why that person has given, and you should be able to help the question paper setter and the evaluator to get connected. So the present context becomes very important. And finally, you have to give a similar quote which is like, which sounds like the quote which is given in the paper, or some counter quote. Even if you don't actually agree with that particular quote in the present context, and you need to amend that quote, or you need to make a change in that quote, or how do you look at that quote today? Maybe the perspective has changed. So basically, you are going to suggest or give a similar quote to that particular quote. So we are taking few examples from the previous year questions. So this is asked in 2023. What does this quotation convey you in the present context? Again, I will mark these words, you and the context. So I'll mark the keywords now. The simplest acts of kindness. Simplest acts of kindness. This is one. Far more powerful than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. So second word is this. Kindness and the prayer. As a literature student, I can connect this kindness to many things. For example, I have read Basavanna. So he's the medieval philosopher who talks about kindness. So kindness is the bedrock of all the religions, he says. All the religions are found on the bedrock of the kindness. Without kindness, the survival of the entire humanity will be at stake. So that is what he quotes. So maybe I'll write that one. And coming to the prayer, the power of the prayer, power of the prayer. We are not contrasting these words now. First, we are trying to explain them. What is kindness and what is prayer? Prayer is also equally important. So you have to tell the power of the prayer. When some medicines fail, when the science fail, then comes the belief system. So that is where the prayer comes into play. So prayer, the power of prayer you have to tell. Here we are not contrasting. In the next paragraph, we are going to contrast this one. So the answer structure will be like this. First, you will be talking about Gandhiji, because Gandhiji has given this, and you don't have to play who's who there. actually under the quote, the name of the philosopher will be given. Here, this is Gandhiji's quote. And if you want to understand this quote and the mentality of Gandhiji, you have to understand the talisman. If you have not read the talisman of Gandhiji, please go to any NCERT book, and the first page will be this talisman, or it may be on the cover page, or in the second page on the left side, it will be talisman. So whenever we think of a problem, or whenever we think of an action that we are doing, so how is it going to affect the least citizen, or the last citizen, or the leaflet of our society, which is, like ready to get shredded or ready to just fall? So how it is going to affect that person? So that is what is talisman. So Gandhiji's entire idea goes about the last person. So how your action affects the last person? Maybe few things like that. So you have to tell, and the action part. So how action is very important, and how your action has to be guided by ethics. So that's also important. That is one of the teachings of Gandhiji. So he is a deontologist. Basically, he believes in the right way rather than getting the right result. So he believes in the right way. Maybe the example of Chauri Chaura you can give. Then kindness, you have to tell about kindness. I have already told, I quote Basavana. So kindness is the bedrock of any religion. So be it Islam, be it Hinduism, be it Christianity, everything is based on kindness. So every religion tells the kindness not just for the human beings, even for the living creatures, it tells. Then you have to tell about the prayer now. I told you, like prayer, how powerful is a prayer. When everything fails, the prayer comes into play. When the human actions fail, then miracles do happen. So this is what we have to explain. But in this context, we are giving less importance to the prayer. If you just explain the grandeur of prayer, importance of prayer, maybe we'll deviate away from the answer. So here we have to give less preference for the prayer. So this is the contrast that we draw between our action. Action is nothing but kindness, giving something tangible. If somebody has come to you asking for food, giving food is the kindness. Or if that person has come for something, then giving that one is kindness, or showing the importance of that person, or showing love towards that person and making that person understand and become calm or pacify. That is what is kindness. When it comes to prayer, it is a intangible thing. It is a metaphysical thing. It is more kind of spiritual. So it creates hope. Prayer creates hope, and we keep on praying. But how far we keep on praying? So our stomach ask for something. So it is all about the survival. So it is survival versus, like spiritualism. So, for example, a small guy, this is a very common example for UPSC aspirants. So small guy stealing a bun for survival. What do you call that? Is it like the burglary, or it is a theft? How do you call that? It is very difficult. So if a person tries to give that bun to that particular, so that is what is the kindness. So here prayer doesn't take the center stage. So prayer comes when the stomach is filled. So basically helping hands, how they are important than the praying lips. So this is a similar quote what I am trying to tell. So other points what you can tell is the Maslow's theory. Maslow's theory goes on the needs. So first the basic needs, biological needs like the water, food, and the sex. Then comes the social needs. Then comes the metaphysical needs, many things. So self-actualization, many things will come. You can really connect with the Maslow's theory here. So how important is the basic needs? How important is the kindness? That is the giving of something. So that's very important here. Then other parts, what you can bring here, then how it was, then. So during the time of Gandhiji, so it was all about poverty, hunger, illiteracy, so many things. So there were the people who were more powerful and the less powerful. So even the concept of trusteeship, it is again the contribution of Gandhiji. So trusteeship, so how it is important. So that also can make our answer like well versed. Then I told the helping hands are better than the praying lips. So they don't give anything in short term. So in long term, maybe like we can expect few things, but the present hunger, the present thirst, so how that can be quenched? So that is why the helping hands are more important. But again, the other side of the story. So helping hands, so subsidy, freebies. So in the present context, so what they are making the person? So they are making the person lazy, or is it the same level that the person requires now also? That is the debatable point. So the government's giving guarantees. So how that can be connected? You can, like just connect those things here. And again, like few people do help with the expectation of the return gift. It is like you have gone to the birthday and given a gift and expecting a return gift. No, it is not. So altruism is what? Altruism is something which you are going out of way and helping a person. So here we are not expecting any favor. In the present context, the freebies or the subsidies or anything before the elections, like they are in the expectation of the return favor. So these are not called as the helping thing, or these are not called the kindness. These are the selfish things. So these things also you should be able to connect. So the problems of poverty, hunger, illiteracy, they are still relevant in a different degrees, So now illiteracy is not a problem, but the education, the ill education of the people. So that is a problem now. And also the modern things, what people are deprived of. People are deprived of so many things. For example, in the digital world, like one feels like dejected. So even for them, like what is the exit point? So how they can be, like equated with others, or how to bridge this gap. So how this is relevant to civil service is also a point. So I have told you many a points. I can't ask you to, like write all the points here. 3-4 very solid points from multidisciplinary. If you can write, then that's very good. And at the end, I told you this is a strategy that we can end up with a similar quote. So similar quote, what I can remember readily is the helping hands are better than the praying lips, as I told. So I will end with this quote. So here everything is covered. So about Gandhiji, now, then, proper meaning, then finally the similar quote. So this is how we have to look differently at the quote-based questions. So for these quote-based questions, again, stay tuned with us with this initiative, Ethics at 8. For this one, thank you very much.